Hello, welcome to the Tea Party Hoodie channel. So, good old Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is back to doing what she does best. Celebrating liars, cheats, and thieves. It's good to know she's part of the government. AOC gloats that Trump's Tulsa turnout was sabotaged by teens on TikTok. Okay, so let's see what she had to say about it. Ocasio-Cortez claims that teens flooded the Trump campaign with fake ticket reservations and tricked you into believing 1 million people wanted your white supremacist open mic enough to pack an arena during the cootie times. And then it goes on to say, shout out to Zoomers, ya all make me so proud, Ocasio-Cortez added. In a separate message, Ocasio-Cortez thanked K-pop allies, a term referring to fans of Korean pop music. K-pop allies, we see and appreciate your contribution in the fight for justice too, the Congresswoman wrote. What are we supposed to do when our American leaders are celebrating defiance of law and order? Do you have law and order when your leaders are defying it? When you have sanctuary cities and sanctuary states that are defying law and order, and you have congresswomen like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez out there cheering them on, shout out to Zoomers, y'all make me so proud. The saying goes back to the Bible, but Lincoln quoted it. A house divided cannot stand. You can't cheer on the destruction of your own nation and think that your nation is actually a nation, because it's not a nation at that point. It's two, and a house divided cannot stand. Maybe you've heard the other one. United we stand, divided we fall. We are truly divided, and we are falling. And as she pointed out, when she calls them warriors, K-pop allies, we see and appreciate your contribution in the fight for justice too. It's hardly, the word justice means to go through the justice system. This isn't going through the justice system. It wasn't clear if Ocasio-Cortez knew about the alleged scheme in advance or if she was reacting to media reports. I appreciate them putting that in the story, but it's not relevant to the destruction of our country. So here we have the example of good old AOC cheering on the destruction of the country, which is not out of the ordinary for her and her two little friends in Congress, Ilhan Omar, and I don't know the other lady's name. The other cranky one. But what about the free press? Well, let's take a look at this lovely lady. I'm sure that's her natural hair color. And let's see, this is Nikole Hannah-Jones, who is the founder of the 1619 Lying Project for the New York Times. You remember the New York Times? They're the ones that fired their two editors a week ago. And now the asylum is run by the inmates. Nikole Hannah-Jones endorses riots and toppling statues as a product of the 1619 Project. Once again, she endorses riots and toppling of statues. And she is a Nikole Hannah-Jones staff writer at the New York Times and lead essayist in the New York Times Magazine 1619 Project, just endorsed the nationwide destruction of statues as a product of her historically inaccurate work. So we have the free press celebrating a house divided, which will fall, which they want it to fall. They're not pretending otherwise. There's no one out there saying different. And I make reference on this channel every once in a while to Tim Pool. Tim Pool made a video yesterday where he was pointing out repeatedly that Black Lives Matter isn't the reason for the statues being toppled. Because look at the examples. You've got Columbus statues taken down. That has nothing to do with Black lives. You've got Lincoln, not Lincoln, Jefferson. They want to get rid of Lincoln. They haven't done it yet. President Washington's statues being torn down and Thomas Jefferson's statues being torn down. They have, and again, he keeps protecting Black Lives Matter in the process. And my question is to everyone who is protecting Black Lives Matter on all of these issues, saying, oh, no, they've been hijacked. They've been hijacked. That's why this stuff is happening. Then tell me this. If Black Lives Matter is not affiliated with all of these things, then where is their refutations? Where are they out there refuting it? Where are the statements saying, hey, we at Black Lives Matter appreciate your support, but don't endorse firing people because they don't agree with us? Where are those statements? Where are the examples of them saying, hey, we appreciate your support, but we think tearing down statues is the wrong methodology? No, they don't exist. So trying to protect them and saying, hey, they're not affiliated, it's been hijacked. If they were hijacked, they would be screaming from the top of the hills that they were hijacked. And they're not. And isn't it they, Black Lives Matter, who made it the public pronouncement that did say, if you don't say anything, then you're just as guilty as those who did. So by their own standard, which of course we all know they'll never be held to, by their own standard, they're admitting that since they're not saying anything, yeah, of course we're on board. To which I say to Tim Pool and all the rest, guys, of course they're on board, or they would say they're not. They've had plenty of opportunities, the hundreds of people that have been fired and canceled, as if canceled is an appropriate word for, hey, we just totally destroyed your career, and good luck finding another one. And for all those people that are watching this who are really good at investigations, I have a task for you. And if you know someone who's good at investigations, feel free to pass it on to them. Of all the people that have been canceled in the last few years, basically since 2016, it would be a worthy experiment to see if the people that were canceled, which again means we're going to kick you out of your livelihood, we're going to blackball you from the industry that you are most trained in. It would be interesting to find out if the people that have been canceled, how they've overcome it, and if they overcame it, or if the left really did win, and those people are just still massively struggling to recover their lives from being on the blacklist. So that's a question worth hanging on to. So what's it like to live in a country where statues of our leaders are being torn down and our current leaders are celebrating it? What's it like to be in a country where freedom of the press is being utilized as a weapon against the nation? What's the old saying? The Constitution is not a suicide pact. Well, Abraham Lincoln warned about it. We will never die by being attacked from outside. We will die by suicide, as all great empires do. America is an experiment, not a guarantee, and we are just as susceptible of falling as a nation as every other country. We're not unique in that regard. The Soviet Union, the mighty Soviet Union, crumbled and fell in about 1.5 to 2 years. And it was gone. And then parts of the wall in Berlin were sold off to different parts of the world to show it could happen to you. Well, it's happening to America right now. What are they going to sell off from our country? Mutilated statues? Probably. Think about it. If you lived in China, wouldn't you love to have a mutilated statue to showcase and go, hey, this is what the Americans did to themselves, just like we did with the Berlin Wall when we bought parts of the Berlin Wall. And there's a museum in Los Angeles called the Los Angeles County Museum of Arts, abbreviated LACMA, which of course sounds a lot like giving milk, but nonetheless, yeah, across the street from it, there's a big chunk of the Berlin Wall, and it's like, hey, look, ha ha ha, the mighty Soviet Union fell. You don't think China and Russia And Iran would love to have these toppled statues, particularly of the founding fathers, and say, ha 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 ha. And of course they would be displayed in a toppled fashion to celebrate the destruction of America by Americans. It was the Soviet Union people that tore down that wall. And that's why we celebrate it. It was the American people that tore down those statues. Of course Iran, maybe even England now, would celebrate it. Everybody would celebrate it. We are tearing ourselves apart. And one last thought. The left calls themselves social justice warriors. They are at war. They are taking land. They took over part of Seattle. They are shooting bullets in their war. They are killing people. They are toppling statues. They're fighting the war. Who's fighting against them? I don't mean people like me sitting behind a microphone going jab, 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 jab. I mean, who's out there stopping them? Clearly it's not the police, because the police have been forsaken. And again, pretend you're Iran, and you're looking at America dismantling its police force. You know, the guys with the guns that might join the army to stop you if you invade. And you're just like, wow, this is getting easier and easier by the day. The sharks swimming in the water see the blood gushing out of our nation from self-inflicted wounds, like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Shout out to Zoomers. You all make me so proud. The way you lied and cheated to steal seats from actual people who really, really wanted to go. And the free press that says rioting, looting, tearing down statues. Pfft, I'm on board. What's taking you so long? Yeah, you're on board the Titanic. All these foreign nation sharks are looking at us bleeding, and they're just thinking, all we have to do is wait a teeny weeny itsy bit amount of time longer, and we can take a big nasty bite, and it's going to be so easy. Because forget about resistance is futile. Resistance won't even be attempted because there's nothing left. We're a nation that's been locked down for 3 months in order to convert all the factories into military operations should we be attacked. It's going to be too much time while they're all ramping up right now. You should look into what China's doing with their military. Iran already did it. We're in a heap lot of trouble. We are self-destructing. Soviet Union fell in about 1.5 years, 2 years at the most. And if you watch Chernobyl, there was a line in there that said, how did it happen? How did it melt down? How did our scientists do this? And basically the summary was, oh, how did it melt down? Because of all the lies. Because we kept lying about everything. Of course it melted down. We'd been lying to ourselves saying, oh, this isn't going to happen. This isn't. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is celebrating the lying in our country. We are an experiment. We are not a guarantee. We are not immune to the realities of the world. If you poke us, if you prick us, do we not bleed? And if you prick us 1,000,000 times, do we not bleed to death? Yes, we do. In November, if Trump wins big and takes the House and takes the Senate, and for God's sakes, and I mean that literally, if the Republicans who take it actually grow a spine and restore America to one nation under God and return to the principles of the Constitution, yeah, I'm talking to you, John Roberts, instead of just making it up, we'll do just fine. Anything less than that, then you're handing power to these very people. You are giving the rioters You're giving the looters, you're giving the people that are cheering on the liars and the cheaters and the thieves, and you're giving power to the free press that is celebrating, rioting, tearing down statues. You're giving them more power. And you think that's going to end in any other way than the collapse of this country? As the Visigoths are right at the gate going, hello, we're Visigoths, we speak Chinese. Hello, we're the Visigoths, we speak Iranian. Hello, we're the Visigoths, we speak North Korean. North Korea, Iran, Russia, China, that's a lot of power. Let's say they want to mess with us. Who is us? There's us. Well, we're completely divided. We're an easy whoop. England joins us. Oh, wow. What do they have, like 4 ships? France joins us. Oh, wow. They have like 2. And I think they have the strongest air force outside of ours. But still, guys, if you've ever been to Vegas or Atlanta or wherever you go to, not Atlanta, Atlantic City, look at the cards we're holding. America, England, Australia, oh, just for fun, Canada, we'll make them as the joker. Because remember, Trudeau, he might actually join the other side. He might actually join China and North Korea. This is a man who wears blackface. America, Canada, Australia, France, England. Against, these are the easy bets. China, North Korea, Russia, Iran. And then the not so sure would include, like ours is, our joker only because of lack of strength. Their joker is, hold on, a turkey. Yeah, talk about a turkey shoot. We don't stand a chance. Do you understand that? If we are as divided as we are, like right here and right now, not like in the future, right now, we don't stand a chance. We need to pull ourselves together really soon. Because those countries, you think a stupid little YouTuber is smarter than them? You think they haven't thought of this? You think the people in Washington, D.C. haven't thought of exactly what I just shared with you? But we can't fix it if we've got people going, shout out to Zoomers, y'all make me so proud. We can't solve it if we're tearing down all these statues. If we're defunding the police. If we're changing the language at every moment and turn to fit the leftist need and agenda. I hope you have a lovely Father's Day. We'll see you in the future. Ni hao ma.